Hey, what's happening? Welcome back to Logical Republican. Glad to see you again today. Again, if you like what you see, like what you hear, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if there's any other buttons there, hit them too. So what we're going to talk about today is kind of a hot button topic that's been going around. It's Taiwan and China. Okay, so this has been kind of a tough relationship for 70 odd years, 75 years, something like that. But it's starting to heat up again. And China is doing what China does, is they're playing around in the Straits of Taiwan. And, the fears are that it would invade. But let's go back in time and really look at Taiwan and see what this is all about, right? And it's really all about a China power play. And we're going to go in a direction that the news channels really aren't going. So if you're like older, when I was a kid, I played baseball like a lot of other American kids. I played a little bit of Little League ball like maybe you did or your kids do, and dreaming of someday playing big league baseball. And then every summer, like a lot of us do, it's a big event now, we would watch the Little League World Series held every year in Williamsport, Pennsylvania on TV. Okay, it wasn't as big a deal as it was or as it is today, but seemingly every other year a team from Taiwan would beat the crap out of these diminutive little American kids, right? The American kids kind of looked small. The kids from Taiwan were huge for 12-year-olds. Way bigger than I was at 12 years old, that's for sure. And we won't get into the did they cheat thing back then, because they did get busted in the 1990s. But I'm talking about their winning streak from 1971 to 1974, where these Taiwan kids were throwing 150 miles an hour. I'm exaggerating, please. And the American kids were just absolutely outclassed. They were overwhelmed. So that was how I knew who and where Taiwan was when I was younger. Years later, I worked in Silicon Valley, and Taiwan is the place where things are designed and manufactured and where game-changing CEOs immigrate from. NVIDIA's Jensen Huang, the soon-to-be most valuable company in the world. NVIDIA, he's from there. Supermicro's Charles Liang, AMD's Lisa Su, many more across the years. I mean, let's be real. Silicon Valley would not exist as it currently does without people from Taiwan. Made in Taiwan or designed in Taiwan was a good thing for technology products like computer motherboards and memory chips and other random widgets that became obsolete soon after launch. So you would have to go out and buy a new one, right? It's just called obsolescence. Hard drives, phones, anything that was based on a semiconductor. Built today, obsolete tomorrow, buy a new one, throw out the old one. Then little by little, Taiwan started to not exist anymore. But wait, you say, Taiwan is still there. Oh, but it was a little bit of mind motion. It was a little bit of, what is that 3-card game where you always get tricked and lose? This is what China is doing. So little by little, the airlines stopped advertising flights to Taiwan. Professional golfers no longer came from Taiwan. No more Olympic Taiwanese team. The American press stopped mentioning Taiwan. So what happened? Where did Taiwan go? I mean, is this like the Where's Waldo thing? Well, China happened and influenced all of the above parties to no longer recognize Taiwan or mention it, because doing so would recognize the Taiwanese as an independent country and people. Welcome to the party, and may we introduce you to what is now called on the international stage Chinese Taipei. Yes, you've seen it. The Chinese Taipei Olympic team, the Chinese Taipei Little League World Series team. Where the hell is Chinese Taipei? Well, there's no such thing as Chinese Taipei. It's a contrived word usage. It's a contrived place, all orchestrated by China. Never mind that Taipei is a city and Taiwan holds independent democratic elections and has a sitting president, and their citizens are free to travel to and from, let's say, Los Angeles, vote. Yes, they have elections. They're able to think for themselves, create. They're able to go to the university of their choice. They're able to have career paths of their choice. They're able to search on Google. They're able to have a profile on Facebook and use social media as they please. It's not dictated or monitored by the country or the government. China said, you can't say Taiwan anymore or we will punish you. Don't fuck with us, we're China, bitch. And guess what? The world is now China's bitch. And it is too damn scared to utter the word Taiwan or put it in print for fear China will get bent out of shape and kick them out of their sandbox. So let's look at all of the people who are afraid of China and getting on their bad side by not saying Chinese Taipei. Okay, let's start with the PGA, okay? The LPGA. The golfers are no longer from Taiwan. They're from Chinese Taipei. Little League World Series, as we mentioned before, and of course, Major League Baseball. Every airline in the world, many, many, many more. Taiwanese golfers no longer from Taiwan. Airplanes no longer fly to Taiwan because if they list that now banned word Taiwan on their destination chart or their ticket or their website or their flight route, China will pull their pass to land their planes in China. And guess what? All the airlines said, sure. Okay, we'll do that because we want to land in China. We're China's bitch, the airlines are. You see, China views Taiwan as a breakaway state of sorts, that it's their property and that they hold the right to the place and eventually will take it back, which is what all of the, brouhaha is going on about, today, right? The war exercises, the world thinking that eventually that they are going to take Taiwan. Now, don't be mistaken here, right? If China invades Taiwan, everything that we know today as of technology will suddenly stop, okay? There will be nothing new. There will be no new computers. No, because why? Stuff is made in Taiwan. Taiwan Semiconductor makes chips. They make chips for Intel, for AMD, for NVIDIA, for Samsung, for Brocade, for Marvell, for pretty much every semiconductor company in the world. Guess where its plant is? Yes, it's in Taiwan. So if China invades, guess what? Now China owns and will nationalize all of this stuff. China will own basically the technology of the world. The only thing that has stopped them thus far is the United States pledge to defend Taiwan. Now, do they want to start a war? I'll betcha. Same thing that happened with Trump. If Trump picks a fight with China, if he wins the election, I would not be surprised to see China invade just to cripple the United States and the world and show their might. But that's just an idea, a thought on my part. But make no mistake, Taiwan's freedom is in the world's best interest, as a huge percentage of the technology we use is designed there, as I mentioned. China builds the stuff with their cheap labor, but China does not have the creativity to actually design the stuff. Why? Because they're all basically robots. They copy, they steal, they reverse engineer other people's work, and then build their own products, kicking out the originator. Google is not allowed in China. They reverse engineered that. They have their own search engine now. Uber, guess what? Uber tried to get into China, and then they figured out what Uber was doing, and now there's like their own Chinese version of Uber. Twitter, not allowed in China, yet the Chinese government officials can have Twitter accounts. They have their own version of that. Facebook, same thing. There's no Facebook in China allowed, yet the smart people over there have been able to use a VPN and get around it. But Whatever. The world is so freaking afraid of China that only 12, yes, 12 countries in the entire world actually recognize Taiwan as a sovereign state, as their own country. 12 countries, maybe 1% of the population can actually locate these countries on a world atlas. I know I sure as hell can't. Are you ready for this? Here are the 12 countries in alphabetical order that recognize Taiwan. Going against China to recognize Taiwan. Ready? Belize. Okay, I've heard of Belize. I think I kind of know where it is. Eswatini. Do you know where that is? It's the former Swaziland, so I'm guessing it's in Africa. Guatemala. Ooh, all right, Guatemala. They make, what, coffee? Okay. Haiti. All right, they share the island with the Dominican Republic. I know where that is. Vatican City. Okay, well, that's in Italy, yes. The Marshall Islands, that's in the Pacific, okay. Palau, also in the Pacific. Paraguay, I think that's isn't that where Hitler allegedly escaped to? St. Kitts and Nevis, I'm guessing that's in the Caribbean. St. Lucia, maybe also in the Caribbean. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I think that's in the Caribbean as well. And Tuvalu, no clue where that is. Maybe near Samoa. I don't know. But being totally honest, I've never heard of these places, or a lot of them. And that's reflective of China's pull on the world market, and that they can get everybody, Japan, UK, Germany, the United States, Mexico, Canada, all to not recognize Taiwan. I remember when Trump called the Taiwanese president after, I think it was she won the election, and China got all bent out of shape. And then Nancy Pelosi, and the one thing that she's ever done in her entire political life that I agree with, visited Taiwan to piss off China. So, yeah, it's just really ridiculous. But, if you want your cheap shit built in China, you want to sell widgets in China, you want to fly your airplanes into China, want to deliver parcels into China, hello FedEx and DHL and UPS and everybody else. Oh, here's a funny one. The United States Postal Service. Now, if you and I wanted to send let's say a 1 pound box to China, it would cost us, I don't know, 25 or 50 bucks by, just going to the post office and saying it's going to wherever China. Now, if you want to buy a 1 pound chunk of plastic off of a Chinese website from China to the United States, okay, that postal rate would be like literally a small fraction, because the United States Postal Service, for some ungodly reason, has a rate coming into the United States from quote unquote third world countries that is dirt cheap. So in other words, if you're in Guatemala and you're mailing something to the United States, it's a lot cheaper than us sending it there. Now, why on earth that has never been reversed, so all of that cheap crap coming off the cheap knockoff Chinese websites isn't more expensive, I have no idea, but that's a discussion for another day. Now, but also, again, do you want Chinese investments? Do you want Chinese tourists to spend money in your cities? Do you want your brand advertised in China? Do you want to be able to put up a billboard along the whatever river and in the downtown of wherever? You want to avoid the People's Republic of China wrath of negative public relations and not call you names? Well, we understand each other. Taiwan is now Chinese Taipei, bitch. Welcome to China. If you like what you see and you like what you hear, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. See ya.